What is up, everyone, and welcome back to 80s-a-thon. And today I'm going to change gears a little bit. Now we're going to shift from action to possibly the only horror movie that I have here for you guys, part of the 80s-a-thon. So let's talk about horror in the 80s, actually. So obviously, some people refer to this as the Bronze Age, actually. You know, when things went from being scary to just being slasher gore fests, actually. So, yeah. Normally not my cup of tea, but let's talk about this. The 80s had two big names that dominated and gave people nightmares, and that is, no pun intended, Nightmare on Elm Street and Friday the 13th, which brought Freddy Krueger and Jason Voorhees to the silver screen. And yes, and it's still a top going horror franchise to this day, actually. But of course, with every big blockbuster horror, there's always some horror movie that's kind of been shoved to the side. Movies like Fright Night, and then there's this movie that I'm going to be reviewing today. I don't have a physical copy of it on me because I watched it the other night. It's called Night of the Creeps, actually. This 80s gem is kind of like a homage to both the 80s and the 50s, actually, because this movie was directed by Shane Decker. I can't pronounce the guy's name, actually. The same guy. For any 80s aficionados out there, you know who he is. He would eventually go on to direct another movie called Monster Squad, actually. So, well, a little bit something there, actually. So, not only does this movie also pay homage to movies of the 50s, this also, for some reason, also has the most interesting cast of names, actually. Character names, actually. And they're all named after famous directors. You got, like, James Cameron, Sam Raimi, David Cronenberg, and go on and on. But, oh my goodness, I found it to be really funny, actually. But, of course, if you're not familiar with this movie, I'll give you a plot overall. It's a little convoluted and a little cartoonish, but I found it to be a little entertaining, but then there are some gruesome moments. I don't want to get into too much of the gruesome moments, but anyway, the whole plot is that supposedly these aliens from space actually somehow send this interesting thing to Earth, actually. These kind of slime-like parasites that when ingested somehow they jump into their victims through their mouth and turns them into zombies. I'm like, zombie alien hybrid. That sounds interesting. And like, oh my goodness, like, it was just really weird. The plot gets just so crazy, actually. But not only is it a perfect blend of horror and sci-fi, but it's also a little bit of comedy. Like, some of those raunchy comedies, like Animal House and Revenge of the Nerds, actually. Got all that and blended together, and you got something interesting, actually. But literally, just watching this, for me, I found it to be a little cartoonish at times, but then again, it had me laughing, actually. Especially when it came to the cheesy one-liners. Oh yeah, it's not an 80s film when it comes without one-liners, especially a line like Miller Time, and then of course, there's the most iconic line of this whole movie. It was quoted by Tom Atkins. This guy completely owns this movie. He says, "Hey girls, good news, your dates are here. Bad news, they're dead." They're all zombies. Like, good lord, man, this is a scary, tricky situation. But oh my god! But Tom Atkins totally owns this movie. Actually, even though he's one of those police detectives that's a little messed up in the head, but he spouts the best one-liners. Even though he's not Arnold Schwarzenegger or whatnot, but he's still memorable in his own right. Actually, then you got the dorky teen lead. Actually, you're like, part of you's kind of root for him, but at the same time you feel bad for him. You just want to see him get his ass kicked. But in the end, he becomes a hero. Actually, that's all I'm going to tell you for that, actually. What else can I say about this movie? Like I said, watched the 80s, really enjoyed that. Plot's a little interesting. There was so much cartoonish things that were just crazy about it. And of course, they had your raunchy moments, you had your little bits of nudity, you had your gore moments, which of course, I will say there were practical effects, actually, which I will say pretty good for the time, actually, even though some things were kind of, moving, starting to swerve towards more from practical to CG, actually, but so it's kind of like in between. It came out in 86, actually, believe it or not, so interesting touch there. So I say, if it's your pick, actually. If you want to see something funny or different than watching Halloween or Nightmare on Elm Street, I'd say go check it out, actually. And it's far from perfect, but does have a big following, so I'm going to give this movie a 7 out of 10, okay? So that does it for today. Covered my only horror film. I want to know what you think, okay? Thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and give it to me for some more 80s-a-thon classics.